Well, hello YouTube, this is Steve Patton with General Patton Bushcraft back with you with another video. Today's video is the 5 components of a bow drill set. Stay tuned. Okay friends, today's video is for you beginner bushcrafters. This video is not for those experienced bushcrafters out there. This video is for the people that maybe have never created a fire with a bow drill set. This is a friction fire, and I just wanted to go over the components. The first component is called the bow, and what I've done is I've found a curved branch. I like a kind of a curved branch, and I've drilled a hole in one end, friends, right here, and I made a groove on this end. And what I've done is I've just used some number 32 Banks line. You can use paracord, you could use a shoelace, a bootlace, whatever you have. But this is the bow. Second up is the drill or the spindle. Okay, I call it a spindle. I've heard it called a drill. But this is the spindle. This here is it's got 3 names. I call it the fireboard, but it's called a baseboard, a hearth board, or a fireboard. And what I've done is I've just got a piece of cedar, friends, for you first timers out there. Cedar's gonna be your best friend in North America for being successful starting a fire or creating an ember with the bow drill set. This is a soft wood. This is cedar. I just got this board down at Home Depot. I made the spindle out of cedar, out of the same board. So number 1, the bow. Number 2, the spindle. Number 3, the fireboard. And number 4, this has a couple different names, 3 different names also. A handle, a socket, or the bearing block. I like to call it a bearing block. Now this bearing block's made out of fat wood. You can see I made a divot right there. And the pointed end of the spindle is going to go on the bearing block. In the bearing block, the blunt end of the spindle is going to go on the fireboard. I told you there were 5 components. The 5th component, I have, friends, just a piece of black leather. This is from a black leather purse that I tore apart. This is going to go underneath your fireboard to catch the ember, so you can transfer the ember into your bird's nest. One more thing on the bearing block. The reason why we like to use fat wood is because it has a lubricant. The natural pine sap in there is a lubricant and cuts down on the friction. All right, friends, stay tuned, and I'll try to get an ember going with this cedar fireboard, cedar spindle, fat wood bearing block, and just a tree branch that I cleaned up, drilled a hole in this end, tied on my number 32 Banks line, and let's give you a demo, show you how it works. Okay, friends, let's go ahead and see if we can demonstrate how to get an ember. What I've done is I've started a new divot here. I've already cut a V-notch. That's against protocol a little bit. Usually we do a burn-in first. Usually we create the divot, do a burn-in, then cut the V-notch. But I'll make a separate video on the technique. Today we're just going over the components. This is the fireboard. Let's load our spindle into the bow. And we'll put our bearing block on the top of the spindle, and let's go for it. starting to see smoke. We'll let that V-notch fill up with the black dust, and hopefully we'll get an ember. Pick up the speed. Like I said, we'll go over the technique on the next video. Today we're going over the components. I'm bowing with my bow, turning my spindle onto the fireboard, drilling a hole in the fireboard. Okay, friends, I see a little bit of smoke. That's a good sign. I'll go ahead and tap that out there. Now remember, friends, it doesn't count unless you bring it to flame. Got my bird's nest. This is why we use the fifth component, something underneath the fireboard, so we can transfer the ember. Uh-oh. Give it some oxygen. I think I lost my ember, friends. We're gonna have to do another one. Ooh-wee. All right, let's do another one. Piece of leather underneath. Fireboard on the leather. Put my foot on here. Let's load the bowl with the spindle. Bearing block on top. Let's go for it. Okay. Here we go, friends. Here we go, here we go. All right, friends, there we go. Today's video was the 5 components of the bow drill set. Number 1, we got our bow. Number 2, our spindle. Number 3, our fireboard. Number 4, our bearing block, fat wood bearing block. Got a lot of resin in there for lubricant. And number 5, my piece of leather to go underneath the fireboard. This could be anything. This could be a dry leaf. Okay, friends, there you have it. The 5 components of the bow drill set for the bow drill friction fire starting method. I hope you like this video, friends. Before you leave, please consider subscribing. And do give the video a like. All right, friends, please do not depart from the faith. It's time to get closer to Jesus, friends. And as always, God is good, God is great. I see y'all on the next video. Already got a date.